Hello everybody, this is Milesluigi. Joining me today is...
Higsby, hello.
And what's the name of the series again, Higsby?
Metroid Prime. Oh wait, no.
No, way out of order here. This is, oops, I am stuck at the end of the game. I mean, Ori, sequence, okay, I forgot the order. So fun fact, the sequence broke that I did to basically skip all of Mount Horu, pits me basically at the bottom of Mount Horu, without completing Mount Horu, and as a result, unless I revert save, I'm actually stuck here. And even if I could try to get out, I'll eventually hit a pool of lava underneath the pool of lava that'll instantly kill me. But thankfully, you know how Ori and the Blind Forest has backup saves. Thank goodness. I'm just gonna say I actually might have to go back a second save here. Oh no, I don't. We're right at the front door. Thank goodness. Haha. So yeah, we can go ahead and complete our 100% collection. So there's not going to be too much, I guess, sequence breaking, quote unquote, this part. We're going to try to fill out this map to the best of our abilities. So a brief, I guess, thing about that is that in Ori and the Blind Forest, to get 100%, you actually have to get what I guess I'll term all the map squares, which, unlike, say, in Metroid or other related kind of games, ouch, that hurt. Also, I knocked over the stone and it did not break the tree. That triggered that cutscene, and yeah, that stone is supposed to break this tree down here and it didn't. Okay. That's something we'll get back to, actually. Much later, actually, because I wanted to save this area for last for collection. Anyway, point being, here in Ori and the Blind Forest, all the areas that are like gray currently, or areas that aren't visible on the map because I didn't go get the map stone, count towards 100%. And it is pretty easy in this game when you're going for 100% to miss a small sliver of the map, and then have the game say, you're at 99% completion for this area. And you have to play a game of Where's Waldo to try to find that last 100%. We'll see how much we run into that today.
Indeed. I think we talked about it a bit in the last part too, that it can be quite a struggle to find out what little pixel of the map you haven't visited, but let's hope we don't have too much trouble.
Hopefully I can do better than when I was streaming and playing through the game the first time, now that I have a better understanding of how the whole game is laid out. So, but I'm actually really thankful that I recorded what I did win, even though I was super procrastinating, because out of all things, that last part, part 12, at Higsby and I, we both recorded that literally the same day I posted it. Like, I immediately edited it and uploaded that because I was like, I haven't uploaded a video in like really long. And then literally the day after, we got extremely exciting news that this game's getting a sequel.
We didn't even been like joking a little bit about that, and you had been saying, well, if there's a sequel, I might have to arrange some things, and then yeah, they actually announced one, so that's really incredible.
Literally the day after, oh, there's a sequel. I was like, oh, okay, instant buy. I'm not sure if it's coming out on Steam or not, but it's definitely coming out on Win 10, and I do have a Win 10 laptop that can play Ori and the Blind Forest just fine. Although, I'm probably going to have to look towards upgrading my desktop to Win 10, or getting a new desktop, because I'm due to get a new one. The one I'm currently using, I built back in 2010, and it's a respectable desktop, but it is, I guess in computer terms, starting to become obsolete.
But how do you feel about this? I mean, you're obviously more the computer guy than I am, but I don't really understand the reason why the operating system should be the deciding factor in if a game works on it or not. Shouldn't that be up to the graphics card and the RAM and such? Like, why could this not just as easily work on Windows 8.1?
Probably something to do with DirectX and the fact that Microsoft doesn't want to make, DirectX, I believe it's DirectX 10 on anything other than Windows 10, so that more people get Windows 10. Even though you make a completely valid point that effectively Windows hasn't changed since about XP, because that was about the point when they basically merged their NT lines and their classic Windows operating system, and then they were starting to get rid of DOS, and the Windows OS really has not changed much since. I mean, it looks different, and don't cry in the comments, be like, but Milesluigi, like, everything looks different. It's like, yeah, but the underlying OS has not changed all that terribly much. It really hasn't. If you look at the Windows kernel in Windows 7 and the Windows kernel in Windows 10, it'll probably be as different as, say, one of the Linux 3 kernel subversions, as in a lot of the same stuff is there, but yes, there are some differences. just to give an example. But yeah, Win 10, which I already know immediately means, the company behind Ori and the Blind Forest, and now Ori and the, you'd think I'd remember the name since I saw the trailer like 10 dozen times.
Isn't it like the will of the...
The Will of the Wisps,
That's
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've seen that trailer like 10 times, and I forgot it's... Thank you. Anyway, yeah, they must be using DirectX 10 or something like that because, Windows 10. So, that I could pretty much just guarantee you right away is why it's Win 10, or I guess I could get an Xbox for it. But no, I'm Nintendo or PC gaming master race in terms of my, I guess, video games. So if it's not on a Nintendo console, it better be on PC, or else I'm not playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know is not exactly the way you feel, Higsby. You're a bit more of a collector.
No, I mean, I've always liked my console gaming, and there's, of course, arguments for each side, and honestly, I don't really care which arguments are on which side. I just personally have always preferred playing on consoles, and I know that other people feel differently, and that's fine. I'm not going to try and convince them otherwise, but usually if there's like a console version and the PC version, I'll always try to get the console version, except unless it's in this case, like you said, I have absolutely zero interest in getting an Xbox One, so if it was a game I really wanted to play and it was on PC and on Xbox One, I would certainly not go out and buy an Xbox One just to get the game, so. But PS4 and the Switch are obviously different. I do hope to get each of those someday, although at the moment I actually own neither of them, but that may have to change soon. We'll see.
Okay. Well, Nintendo Switch is looking pretty good. We'll talk about that in a bit, because just to talk a little bit about Ori's sequel, The Will of the Wisps, this video is being recorded as literally that trailer only came out, a day ago now, and we know, like, next to nothing about the game other than it exists and it's being made, and it is a sequel, so... Yeah. Oh, wait, no, I've pulled this switch. What the heck am I doing here? I'm like, ooh, switch, let's pull it. Let's push it. Okay. That little sub room. Oh, that sub room I have to get to the other side. How are we doing on Sunken Glades? 88%. Okay. But yeah, I don't really know much other than, well, you've already seen the ending if you've seen this part. The baby owl is, I guess, toddler owl now. And, that's about all we know about the sequel. Baby owl is toddler owl, and I guess there's something to do with the owls, and the game looks beautiful. That's about it. That's about what the trailer pretty much told us, so. Now, as a fun fact, and I actually wanted to do this, not quite last, but pretty last. The water is still poisoned even though we beat the game. So for me to get this part of the map, I actually have to start swimming through the poisoned water.
So, like, do you think that people were expecting for Ori to get a sequel? Like, did you feel like there was room for there to be a sequel, or did you think it was kind of just going to be like a one-off thing? How surprised were you?
I was frankly pretty surprised. Oh, geez, this is I might not be able to make it back. Let's go, 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 go. Can I make it? Can I make it? Not quite. All right, I have to not get hit by the fish so darn much here. Anyway, no, I was not, because the company who made this, Moon Studios, was totally an indie shop who I thought would be, working on unique indie projects, and I thought Ori was kind of their take on a platform game, and that they'd be going on to work on other projects. It totally surprised me that they're like, oh wait, no, Ori is good, let's make sequels. So that totally took me by surprise, admittedly. I did not expect them to go for, I guess, the sequel path, but they did, so hooray.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, of course, it is nice to see some unique projects, but in the case of Ori, I mean, it's just such a great game, and it definitely deserving of a sequel. So good to see that they went through with that.
Mm-hmm.
But now we'll see if they we'll see if they start to cash in on it with like new Super Ori Brothers every year, and then eventually Ori and the Blind Forest Maker.
Ori and the Blind Forest Maker. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, there's a fun cameo down here that's a little difficult to see because it's all poisonous and whatnot. I suppose there's a little graph of the little, little Ori guys, but to the left over there, I was kind of swimming through the poisonous water. That is actually a Super Mario Brothers warp pipe just sitting in the background.
Huh.
Actually confirmed by the developers that that is a reference to Super Mario Brothers. So, anyway, am I missing anything over here? I'm at 94%. Oh, I'm missing a little bit. I think that's grayness over up there, so I should probably head up that way. Wish I got that while I was back over in that area. See, this is going to be a common refrain for us collecting 100% is, oh geez, go after this, go after that. But I guess to conclude the Ori talk, yeah, I'm very happy it has a sequel. It is an instant buy. If it comes out on Steam after it comes out for Win 10, knowing me, I'll probably have the Win 10 version and then just get the Steam version to support it, because for Blind Forest, I got the Steam, the GOG, and the limited edition in box, sealed, and I'm never opening that box, so it has a poster in it, and I'm like, no, but I have to, like, break open the box. No.
That, like, you know, collector feel.
That collector feel. Alright, so we're at 94%. No, this was not a darkened area. So let's see. What else in Sunken Glades could we be missing? Well, that's part of Black Root. Maybe it's counting this little blob, even though it's probably technically Hollow Grove. I should probably go off to go get it, shouldn't I? Because I got everything down here and up there. And I have to wonder how much, like, cross-sectional map exploration there's, because I want to say this 94% is because of this, between Sunken Glades, Hollow Grove, this little piece of circle in the middle of the screen right now. I suppose it would help if I actually put some experience points into, well, I could use some power and some map experience. I'm just sitting on 9 experience. I'm not going to use any more save anywheres. Let's level up! Get some additional power here and some map exploration. Let's do that and that. There we go. All right. Because I just hit a whole bunch of map stuff. This makes a lot of markers appear on the map. This makes you restore life faster. This makes things come to Ori quicker. This gives you more energy from energy pickups, and this is attack. Shoot faster, more power for the charge attack, and allows you to target more than one enemy at once with the Spirit Flame. Okay, there we go. Stuff that I don't find too useful for sequence breaking, but otherwise it's pretty useful stuff to have. Signs attack is no longer a little blippy, I guess, wispy thing. It's now an actual attack, so. But yeah, Ori was not the only fanfare at E3, if you saw E3. I'm just gonna say, what excites you specifically about E3, Higsby?
Well, the main thing that I definitely focused on, and usually focus on, is the Nintendo announcements. And I made sure that I watched Nintendo's, their presentation, quote unquote, because I always think it's a shame that they still don't do, a more traditional thing. But yeah, from what they showed, there were definitely a few interesting announcements. One thing that I think was kind of annoying was that, did you actually see, like, their presentation, or did you just read about it later on?
I pretty much have only seen, like, the videos they posted on YouTube, because I was at work during their presentation. Yeah. Although thankfully my Discord was, picking up on all their announcements. It was like, oh, look what they did, oh, look what they did. So I was pretty up to date on my E3 stuff. Yeah,
but see, the thing that annoyed me was that their presentation, it was only about 20 minutes. So it's like, okay, well, I guess there's a few good announcements in there, but overall not too much. But then later on in their Treehouse thing, they still continue to announce new games. Now, it really confuses me why they don't, like, do all these massive announcements first and then still obviously talk about them in the Treehouse. Didn't completely understand that, because I had the run, like, almost right after the presentation was done, and then I'm still reading about new announcements later on. It's like, well, why wouldn't they have just announced that, when everybody's watching and, wanting to pay attention to their big thing. So one of the main things that kind of applies to that situation is that the new Paper Mario Superstar remake was not announced in their big video, but then they talked about it later on in the Treehouse, and it's like, well, why wouldn't you just announce that when you're talking about all these other games like Metroid Prime 4 and the new Yoshi game and such. So but yeah, there were some definitely cool things in there. What did you think was good?
As you can tell by the fact that I'm playing Ori in the Blind Forest, the fact that there's actually new Metroid games makes me happy. Just by virtue of there being new Metroid games that aren't Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Still not sure who thought that was a good idea, but
It's to my understanding that that game was not being developed as a Metroid game, and Nintendo thought, oh, let's make this a Metroid game, and they did.
So it's like another Star Fox Adventures, essentially.
Yeah.
Another situation like that.
So, yeah, regarding the Metroid Prime and the Metroid 2 remake on the 3DS, they didn't show anything of Metroid Prime 4. There was literally logo Metroid Prime 4, and it made everyone go crazy.
That was pretty disappointing because they showed that, and then afterwards they started. It showed a screen that said like, game preview, and everyone's like, okay, so now it's gonna be a preview of Metroid Prime 4, and then they just went to a completely different game, and it's like, oh, that's disappointing. Reminds me of the time that for the Wii U they said there's going to be a new Smash Brothers on the Wii U, and then said nothing about Smash Brothers for like the following 2 years, and so it's kind of feels like that.
Yeah. So I don't know anything about Metroid Prime 4. I do know it's not being made by Retro Studios, which is just a little bit of a bummer, but not massively. It's not like it's being made by Art2 nor Arzen, so I forgot who's the company making it, but they don't have like a bad game reputation last I checked.
Well, I really hope it turns out well. Let's hope that it's like, the Metroid game people have been begging for like 10 years. After Other M was, from what I've heard from you, disappointing, and then obviously Federation Force.
Other M is just painful to play through, and I'm like, oh my god, so. Anyway, I think I know what part of Sunken Glades I'm missing. Is this part I think is technically Sunken Glades, which is half underwater, so that's great. There we go. Oh, this is totally an unsafe zone exclusively, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Oh, this isn't an unsafe zone. Okay, so up here, further away from the laser, is an unsafe zone. Well, it's still charging, so it won't let me. But near the actual laser, I guess it's safe. Oh, wait, no, it's... Okay, here it's unsafe. Here it lets me save. Okay. Anyway, I have to go get an orb and a little bit in the map over here. So, into the poisonous water I go. There we go. Does that get the whole map? Well, I think it did. Hopefully it did. But, yeah, along with that, of course, is the Metroid 2 remake for the 3DS, which reminds me that I homebrewed my 3DS, and I hope that doesn't screw me out of playing the new Metroid game. I do have some help that can help me with that, but I haven't updated my 3DS past version 11.2 because I'm like, I kind of homebrewed my 3DS, yeah. So, suffering the same consequences, I guess, people who homebrewed their Wii early on with the Wii have suffered. Way to go, Milesluigi.
People who homebrewed their Wii?
Wasn't there, Nintendo trying to, get people to stop homebrewing their Wiis early on?
Maybe.
Until they just stopped it and, couldn't stop it anymore?
I don't know. I homebrewed my Wii, I think a few years after it came out, and I never actually encountered any problems. But maybe there were, and I was just one of the lucky few that didn't get hit. Not sure.
Maybe I'm just remembering things wrong. Anyway, no, that was not the part of the 94%. The thing is, this little gray area here, I know that's Black Root specifically, unless it is actually counted towards Sunken Glades, which would be, frankly, kind of retarded. There's something big here I'm missing. It would actually, wait, no, I know what I'm missing. A, the map stone, and B, I just saw an area I'm missing. Okay, I haven't put in the map stone for Sunken Glades yet. Oh, jeez. Milesluigi. It just hit me. Wait, no, I know why I'm not seeing any gray, because I haven't put in the map stone, and I now see this part that I'm missing. Jeez.
And then you just pray that that's it, and it doesn't leave you at like 99%.
Let's hope not. 99% is the worst percent when you're trying to 100% this game. So, but yeah, the Metroid 2 remake, which a lot of people have commented, I totally agree that, this is why Nintendo was so adamant on the takedown of AM2R pretty much the day after it came out. Because if you understand anything about game development, like this Metroid 2 remake for 3DS had to have been in development for at least a year when AM2R came out. So it's like, well, that's, I guess, why they put a can on that right away.
But you see, a really good point that Alex made was, okay, so obviously this Metroid 2 remake's been in the works for a while. Why would they wait until the fan-made one was released before shutting it down? Why not shut it down, like, you know, years ago then? Why let it be released? It's just that is kind of a mysterious point. Like, why wait until after it's out if obviously it's been in development for so long?